So working for the Parks Institute, the Rosa and Raymond Park Institute, as a young lawyer, younger than I am today, 23 years ago in 97, 98, 99, 2000. We worked for the Institute for several years, myself and Mark Goldman. And it came about that we had a big fundraiser, and it was in Orchestra Hall. And it was really incredible. And guess what? Aretha Franklin was performing 2 nights in Orchestra Hall, and she gave us a third night at her volunteer expense. And we used that as a fundraiser with our magazine. And I had premium seats, and myself with my lawyer partner, Mark Goldman, we were seated in about the third row over on the right. To the left of us was Al and Tipper Gore, and we saw them just a couple of rows over. And Aretha came out, and she gave an incredible performance. Of course, Mrs. Parks was there, and it was really an amazing experience. Unfortunately, that became a situation with litigation between the Parks Institute and the Hour magazine, which was the sponsor, the co-sponsor of the event. And I got all involved in the litigation, as did Mr. Goldman and I. And at one point, the incredible Damon Keith, and he was at this point was a Sixth Circuit judge in the United States Circuit Court of Appeals. He called Mark and I to his office in the Federal Building, the 11 Courthouse, the big old federal building in downtown Detroit between Fort and Lafayette. And he called us in and said, "You guys get in here. I need to meet with you." And we walked into his office, and of course his office was incredible. It had the photos of him with all the incredible people for all of his lifetime, because Mr. Keith, Judge Keith, was an incredible man who has his own institute at the law school at Wayne State, very well accounted for, and very well accredited person, worth looking up if you don't know much about Damon Keith. And we walked in there, and Damon Keith looked and said, "You guys are representing an icon. You better get your program together and get this moving in the right direction." "Oh, yes, sir, Judge Keith." We walked out of there, and I'll tell you something. It was a very thrilling experience to meet with the man about helping us to retain our focus and to understand the power and the might and the value of the iconic Rosa Parks. It was a thrill to work with her. I remember one time, a couple of times, we got to go to her apartment in the Riverfront Towers. And this is after she had had an incident where she had been broken into and beaten up at one point. It was a terrible thing. And she was put up on the towers and had a double apartment there right on the river. And Mrs. Parks made up ginger tea. And you take that ginger tea, you take it to your mouth, oh, yeah. It was the strongest ginger you ever tasted in your life. She was really a health advocate and was a vegetarian. And ginger to her and all these kinds of therapeutic things were part of her life. And I'll never forget that tingle in my lips from Mrs. Parks' ginger tea.